Hello all, welcome you all. Today we will go with very beautiful topic, that is address translation and the big IP. Okay, so we will check what is the SNAT in F5 load balancing. Let us understand this slide. Okay, here you can see we are providing the SNAT overview where the NAT can be of any type first of all. Okay, if one of the user is sitting over here, okay, and this user wanted to communicate with your one of the server maybe, okay, like this server, and you have already purchased a public IP, okay, so from your router your private IP, which is hidden for maybe for security perspective, okay, will be converted into the public IP, whatever public IP you have purchased from the ISP. Okay, so this kind of mapping is known as 101 mapping. But here in this diagram you can see that source IP port and source IP address is 172.16.20.2 Howsoever, we can see that these range is bit much. Okay, it is a class B IP address which belongs to the private IP range. So if you are not aware about the private IP range, maybe you can just surf the internet and just write down over there what are the public and private IP range. You will come to know for each and every class. Okay, A, B and C. So here you can see the IPs are many, yeah, and these IPs are converting into your one of the public IP. So you are converting many to one, and this kind of like source net, secure net is also known as PAT. Yeah, so PAT, in PAT you will use address translation and you will use the port number also. So here you can see that one of the request with 20.2 is going with some another port number. So reverse traffic would be able to recognize using this port number only. I hope you are well aware about the Cisco devices and the routing and the NATing concept. Okay, so let us see how NAT can be used in our F5 devices. So let me proceed over there. So today we will check like what are the SNATs, okay, why these are used, what is the traffic flow, and SNAT like AutoMap. One of the like it is one of the available option of the SNAT, and it is often very preferred one because it is very simple to configure and maintain, yeah, and it helps conserve IP address by using the big IP system existing self IP address only. Okay, so let us proceed with some small example over here to let us make our more understanding about the NAT. Yeah, so you can see in NAT in this example. Okay, let me quickly rub it and use my some another color. So there are two concepts over there. One is your home and one is your workplace or the office. So we will see how we can communicate through the home and the workplace. Okay, so let us start with the first. First you can see that you have a public IP 128.206.4.7 from your home, and your work also have a public IP. Okay, somehow it is routable and you would be able to work for your you can able to log in into your workplace system. Okay, and it is all good. Now let us make some change in the scenario. Let us suppose there is some firewall or some another thing is in place now in your workplace. Okay, and your server is assigned with a private IP range, because private IP range is not able to routable over the public internet. So you need to perform NAT over there. There is no other option. Okay, so let us put NAT into the picture now. You can see 172.16.20.1 is netted to one of the public IP, that is 207.10.1.102, and now also you are able to communicate as you were doing earlier. Now let us make some another change into the scenario. What if in your home environment also you are having the private IP range, and but obvious always when you will buy an internet link, you will not get the public IP range. Yeah, you get the private IP range, which is somehow getting netted over the public IP range, and you are able to communicate over the internet. Yeah, so you can see that your private IP range is 10.0.0.1, and which is netted to the 128.206.4.7 public IP range. So currently all of this netting which is showing over this slide is 101. Okay, but what if in your home there are much more PCs which wanted to get communicated to your like work environment? So all of those PCs or all of those devices, maybe the mobile devices, the laptop, the PC, okay, will be get converted into the public IP range using one IP only. And this kind of stuff, when you are converting many to one, is known as PAT. Okay, the port address translation, and also known as SNAT. Okay, so here you can see, if you just check over here in our work environment, our IP are 10.0.0.0.1, 0.0.2 and 0.0.3. You can see that 10.0.0.1 is coming up with some kind of source port, 0.0.2 is having some kind of another source port, and 0.0.3 is having some kind of another source port. And when it is going to the internet, it is going with same IP, okay, but the different ports. So that kind of format is known as PAT, okay, the port address translation, where many private IP range can be converted to the public IP range. Okay, only one IP is sufficing our requirement. So how many connections should be connection would be there? So it all depend upon the total port range, that is 65535. So approx you maybe can say it is about 64k connection can be built up. Okay, but if this is not the requirement and you want some more, okay, in that case you need to provide a pool. Okay, what the pool does is, like, if one of your concurrent connection is exceeding 64k, okay, then you can use the another IP from the pool, public IP. Okay, okay, let us make some more change into this environment. Yeah, so here you can see in our work we have introduced a big IP system now. Okay, so this big IP system is load balancing between my backend servers. So again, my home, I am having three IPs, okay, which are the private IPs which would be routable over the internet using this public IP range. Similarly, in my work now F5 is introduced, okay, and I have a virtual server over here which is the routable IP again, and my backend are like there into my as a pool member. Okay, so my F5 would make the load balancing decision as per the load balancing method. Okay, and you can see my communication should be there now. Okay, so by default F5 do destination net. So how it work, maybe you are aware about it. If there is a F5 device over there in between and one request is coming to the virtual server, okay, this F5 will send it to one of the pool member maybe, okay, and the request would be like, if it is coming from 10.10.10.10, and here your virtual server IP is maybe 10.10.20.1, okay, and your this IP may be 172.16.20.1, okay, the pool which is selected by the F5 load balancing method. So how the request will be built up? Source IP would be 10.10.10.10, okay, and the destination IP would be your virtual server, that is 10.10.20.1. Okay, because it behave as the full proxy. This is my first side. Second side, when it will send the traffic, it will not change the source would be as it is 10.10.10.10, whereas destination is now replaced with your exact pool member which is got selected by your load balancing method, that is 172.16.20.1. Okay, so this is how like this communication will work. Now let us see more on this figure. Yeah, so you can see that my request is came from 128.206.4.7, and by load balancing method 172.16.20.2 is selected, and when response is going back, it is going through my big IP system again, and all thing was working very much good. Okay, but what if the default gateway of my backend server is not my big IP? Okay, and there is a like default gateway is just going through the router or the router, whatever term you wanted to say. So if my default gateway is router, how the request will be go? So from here, let us suppose our source packet would be having this kind of source, okay, and the destination would be my virtual server IP address. Yeah, and from here we know the source would be same 128.1, okay, and the destination would be my 172.16, or we can say pool member. Now if pool member is having different kind of default gateway, it will send packet directly to my source, and that would be denied because my source and destination would not match at that time. Yeah, so this would be the error. Let us see. So if node is not having the default gateway on the big IP, the request will be go to the default gateway, and through default gateway it will introduce the error. Let us check over here again in the pictorial way. Okay, so this is my PC 128.206.4.7. My virtual server IP is into the green 207.10.1.102, and default gateway you can see this time is a router. Okay, it is not your big IP. So 172.16.20.2 is the lucky node or the pool member which is selected by the load balancing method, and how the request will go, let us see. So this is the trend how request will go. Your source packet would be the PC source, okay, destination would be your virtual server. In the second form, if you see, the second flow would be your source would be your same, okay, by default big IP not changing the source, okay, it will do only the destination net, and the destination IP is converted to your lucky pool member. Yeah, now let us see the response. Okay, so response, if you see, your pool member is sending this traffic to the default gateway, so source would be your pool member IP, and the destination would be your exact PC IP. If you compare the packet number 1 to the packet number 3, the source and destination are changed, and hence so your packet would be get rejected, it will not be approved. Okay, and it may also happen that in such cases, if your default gateway is the self IP only, or the big IP only, but the routing is not there, then also you require the auto map. So let us discuss about this routing problem. Okay, so how to resolve it now? Let us talk about SNAT routes response back to big IP. Okay, how SNAT resolve this issue? So as you see the conversation now, what SNAT is doing, secure NAT is not only changing the destination IP but the source IP also. So let us talk about the packet by packet, by flow by flow. If you check the first flow is your same, that is source IP would be your PC, destination IP would be your virtual server. But now the thing is into the second flow. Second flow, when you talk about my source is also changed to the big IP self IP. Yeah, so self IP. Okay, here is also a catch. If you have the floating IP, you would be given with the floating IP first. Okay, and if you don't have the floating IP, maybe it will use the floating IP of another VLAN, and if there also it doesn't exist, it will use the self IP. Okay, the local self IP, and if that does not exist, another VLAN. So like that is the flow. Now, let us talk about let us keep that separate and we talk about the packet number 2 again. So here self IP is the source now and the destination would be your again the lucky server 20.2. Okay. Into packet number 3, you can see the source would be my pool member, but now packet have to go through big IP only because my source and destination both are changed by my big IP. And you can see the packet number 3 is sending traffic back to my big IP, and big IP responsibility is that to changing the source and destination IP, okay, again as it was. So it is converting the source into the my VS, okay, the virtual server which you have defined, the VIP or the listener you can say, and the destination would be my PCIP, and that way your packet would be no longer rejected and it would be a great like your application will work as it is as you required. Okay. Okay, now let us talk about second problem. Okay, if you see over here my client and my servers and all of the stuff, okay, either it is my virtual server, either it is my backend servers, either my client, all belongs to the same IP address. Okay, the IP schema you can see is the same. Okay, so it is 172.16.30/16, so class B IP address. Okay, and here the problem came into the account. Reason behind using ARP, my backend servers, that is 172.16.20.1 or maybe the lucky server is this time 20.1, that is why we are replicating over here. So 20.1 will response back to my PC, that is 172.16.16.30 directly without sending traffic to the big IP. Reason behind ARP will you I hope you are aware about the ARP protocol. Yeah, so if your default gateway is not coming into the picture, it will not send the packet to the default gateway, and it will check the exit like gateway, like exit port you can say, over the switch if switch is coming in between. Okay, and it can send the traffic directly to my PC, okay, to the sender, and again that is a problem. So let us talk about the traffic flow over here. Here, if you talk about the inbound traffic flow, my client is sending the request to the big IP, okay, and big IP is sending the request to one of the lucky server, that is 20.1 in this case. Howsoever, the outbound traffic flow is little bit weird, okay, because my virtual server is directly sending response to the client, and again the source IP and the destination IP will not match and it will be get rejected. Here also my SNAT will come into the picture. Okay, so SNAT will ensure how the response should be routed. Okay, it should be routed only from the big IP. So let us check again. If we enable the SNAT feature, again I will tell you about the SNAT feature, and I will use the Wireshark also. I will show you into the lab also, okay, how it can be defined. So you can see the packet number 1 is going over the virtual server, packet number 2 is using one of my lucky backend server, and packet number 3 is sending response again to the big IP because source is also changed using SNAT. And finally my big IP is changing each and everything as it is required by the PC, and my response is now get accepted. Okay, so here is like an example, okay, the sample of a traffic, how the request will flow using SNAT. So you can see first destination changed via virtual server. Okay, so okay, so far SNAT is not come into the picture by default because my FI device will convert destination automatically. So you can see 150.10.10 is my laptop or my PC IP, and it is hitting to my virtual server, and destination is changing to one of the backend pool member, and this time again the lucky pool is 20.2. Okay, pool member is 20.2. Now if we talk about the SNAT, if we have already enabled the SNAT, so what gonna happen? SNAT will convert the source also to its one of the self IP. So if there is a floating self IP, let us consider there is, so it is converting the source also changed using SNAT. You can see now in the left hand side into the black picture, you can see that, yeah. So how would be the traffic flow again? Now this, your self IP will go to your backend server as a source. Okay. Now what would be the response? Response would be your server would send the response to your uh, self IP. Okay. You can see that server is sending to that, and your big IP will change that result to the virtual server. Okay, let me complete this packet flow. So you can see destination change via SNAT, okay, and the source change via virtual server. And when your PC is getting this result, it is not aware even that some device is in between or no. It will get the result as it is directly pinging or directly accessing the server. Okay, so that is how SNAT will be come into the picture and will resolve such kind of issues. So here we are telling like what kind of the egress traffic is. By default you can see that when we are talking about that PC is coming to the server, so that is inbound kind of traffic over my big IP. But the traffic can be outbound kind of also when server wanted to access some kind of internet. So if there is no firewall in between which is there for using NAT, then we need to convert 101 mapping or SNAT pool. Okay, and automap can be also used over there. So here in this diagram we can see that how the virtual server is get created, and into the SNAT pool we are just converting and we are using some kind of maybe auto map we can use, and we can use some another options also. I will show you them, don't worry. In the last I will show you about the lab also. Okay, so here if you are using automap, then your egress self IP would be used, okay, as a source, and the source will also get changed. So secure NAT will come into the picture when you wanted to avoid the routing problem, asymmetric routing problem, or when there is same subnet, as we talked about the two scenarios. Yeah. So here you can see that if there are like many to one kind of relationship, and this time we are showing you the outbound traffic flow. So in that case also we can create the SNAT pool where from the pool my servers can take the IP address as the public IP address and can talk with the uh, external VLAN. Okay. So here you can see what would be the translated my private IP and where it is translated over my external VLAN. Yeah, and here like the traffic is going outbound way, not the inbound. Yeah. So this is our one of the lab. Okay, we will check over the lab how this kind of problem can exist and how we can resolve this problem. So this is my PC over here, and into my PC let me give you the introduction about my lab. So let me make it some bigger. Okay. So my PC is having IP 192.168.100.1. Okay, and maybe we can create one of the virtual server, any of the virtual server we can create. Here we are using external VLAN as 192, inter VLAN as 10, and we have three of the servers. We will check like either my this IP is able to uh, like access this or no, because I am not putting any kind of routing over my F5, so it should be not accessed ideally. So without any wait, let us check. Okay, and let us create this kind of lab. Okay, perfect. So let me log in into my device. I'm onto my device, okay, and I can see that there are some nodes. Two of the nodes are down and one of the node is up. So there should be a default health monitor, and I am removing that because when I wanted to capture the traffic, I don't want to get the health monitor traffic. So pool, we don't have any pool. Let me create a one pool. So if I need to create a pool, maybe I can just create HTTP. Okay, HTTPS net minion. Okay, let me use HTTP. HTTP pool. Here I can configure health monitor, but again I am just removing it. Reason behind, I don't want to get into my health monitor about my sorry, into my PCAP or into my TCP dumps about the health monitor packet. So I'm just giving the red server, okay, into the pool, and again it is showing me the status unknown because I am not putting any kind of health monitoring stuff over there. Let me create a virtual server, okay, and this time I am creating virtual server over the HTTP. So maybe HTTP, okay, so let me convert it into the HTTP. Description, maybe I'm not giving any kind of source IP address, maybe it should be default, and let me take 192.168.100.80 this time, because I am using port number 80. So you can see I have just configured a virtual server with IP address 192.168.100.80 on the service port 80. Okay, let me use the HTTP profile also, and let me add the pool. So let me add the pool also. Finish it. Okay. So let me check if my server is responding to the ping packet or no. So by default, ARP is always enabled for the virtual server. So ping packet result should be there. Either it is responding to the particular service or no. That is something different. So it is 80. Yeah. Okay. So it is responding to the ping packets. Okay. Okay, perfect. So let me open it. HTTP 192.168.100.80, and let me press enter. Let us wait for some time. Either it is opening or no, or maybe meanwhile let me run the TCP dumps also. Okay. So TCP dump -ni. Okay, and maybe I need to save it somewhere. So let me save it -w, and let me save it into the maybe var temp, var temp, and without automap, not pcap. What happened? Syntax error. So here is the some kind of error. Let me check. It is where then. Okay, it should be TEMP. It should be TMP. Again error. So TCP dump. Okay, I am not using the interface. So interface I wanted to use all. Okay, so this time it is running and it is saving the traffic. Let me check again. Okay, it is not opened. Let me press Ctrl F5, okay, to refresh this traffic, and meanwhile my okay, let me check, let me find out this file is there or no. So you need to open your WinSCP, and from here you need to go into where and then tmp, and here maybe let me find this value. So start. Okay, it is there. It has some size, maybe 8 KB. Yeah. So let me press Ctrl G to stop this, and let me download this. So let me download this. I am downloading it over my download section. So let me close this and let me open the download file. So file explorer. Okay, it is opening into my second screen, and into the document let me open the file name WOAM. Okay, my Wireshark has opened now. Here you go. Here we can see that all of my packets which are captured are shown over here. Okay, so we can see that 100.1, which is my PC IP, is accessing the destination 100.80 and sending the SYN packet. Yeah, then SYN ACK. Okay, and then ACK is also completed. Okay, so far now it has sent the get packet for HTTP. Okay, 1.1, and you can see that it is sending that kind of packet. You can also go more and more about it if you wanted to check, and you can see that again my destination NAT is happened and my packet is sent from my source 192.168.100.1 to the lucky server, that is 10.2.0.11 in our case. But it will never be able to send this kind of response. Okay, you can see that retransmission, and it is not able to send this traffic back because there is no routing over there, and you can just go through it. Okay, one by one packet you can just read about it. Now let me close this file, or let me minimize this file. Okay, and let me minimize this also. Now let me go to my virtual server, and this time into my virtual server let me configure the source net as automap. So here is also an option available, that source address translation, and I can use it as automap. I will just use it automap and put update. What gonna happen now, my source address will also get converted to my external IP, or you can see the egress self IP. So egress self IP is what you can just check into your self IP section. So it is 10.0.1.45 because it is it is going to my internal VLAN. So now communication should be like, my PC should send the communication to the virtual server, and then my self IP should get in touch with my pool member. Yeah. So what are my pool members that we can check from here? So if I will go into the virtual server, and where is my virtual server? So if you go to the virtual server, into the resource, and into the resource we have this pool available, and into this our pool we can see that only one server is there, that is 10.2.0.11, and my self IP is also from this VLAN. Okay, 10.2.0.145/24. Okay, so this time if I will put control F5 again, this should be able to open, but I need to capture this packet again. Okay, so let me capture it, and this time maybe not without okay, so I can say using automap. So using automap I am capturing it again, and let me initiate the request control with control F5. So if I am putting control F5, my server should respond to my HTTP request, and if it is responding, it means our connection is established. So you can see that my server IP is also shown over there, that 10.2.0.11 is responding, and it is also saying if you wanted to learn, just go to the https and netminion.net, and there maybe you can just surf more and more like courses as well. Okay, so let me stop my TCP dump this time and let me open it again. So what is the name we used using AMP kappa? So this is my win SCP. Let me find this file and start. Here you go. Let me download it. Okay, and let me open this file. So it is opening. Let me drag to my this screen and let us talk about it. So again, you can see from here to here the SYN and SYNAC is all good and get IP packet is there. Can you see the difference in our earlier and this output? So packet number 9 this time without, if we talk about what was there, see the packet number 8. The source address was the same 100.1 and this time using AutoMap the source IP address is even also changed. So that is how like we can get the traffic and we can get the result back to us. Okay, and here also we can confirm that the whole thing is in place and that is why my server is opening. Let me press Ctrl F5 once again and let us ensure that it is opening right now also or no. So you can see that this time also it should be opened because we are using the AutoMap function. So guys, I hope this is a informative video for you. Please comment over it, please like, please subscribe the channel, and if you wanted to join the course you can just check the description. There our website link is mentioned. You can reach to us directly. Thank you, have a good day, bye bye.